No matter what part of the country you live in, you should have an emergency plan for severe storms and natural disasters. Joining us now is Consumer Reports Senior Associate Editor Jamie Koff with some tips for staying safe no matter what type of weather you're facing. Thanks for joining us this morning, Jamie.
Thanks for having me.
Now, the first thing we need to talk about is obviously an incoming storm, no matter what type of storm. How do we need to prepare just in general?
Well, first of all, in advance of any kind of extreme weather event or disaster, you want to be prepared ahead of anything that might end up happening. So you want to have both an emergency plan and also a kit of emergency supplies in place now. I mean, now is the time to start gathering those things, not when a problem is imminent. So as far as a kit goes of supplies, you can kind of gradually stockpile these things over time, but you'll want batteries, flashlight, clean water, a wireless radio, a first aid kit, and you can keep these in a rolling suitcase that's really easy to access and leave the house with, or in a plastic storage bin with a nice airtight lid. It's also a really good idea to contact your local Red Cross or other disaster relief agency to see what the shelter situation is in your area. What are the emergency shelters? If you have pets, you definitely want to find out if the shelters in your area allow pets, and if so, which places. And also if you're going to need access to power for example, a dialysis machine, or somebody in your family has an oxygen tank, you want to also find out ahead of time what would be the right shelters to go to for those things and if they have provisions for them.
And it may be a smart idea to have a portable generator at your home, and obviously it's important to know how to use one as well.
Right, so we test generators here at Consumer Reports, and one of the things that our engineers who test them caution about the most strongly is that you have to be sure that you're using them safely, because they emit carbon monoxide in their exhaust, and carbon monoxide is a deadly poisonous gas that also happens to be odorless and colorless, and you hear horrible stories every year about deaths from carbon monoxide poisoning in homes. So you really want to be careful with generators. Now, you want to keep them at least 15 feet from your home. Don't run a portable generator near a window or near a ventilation system. And also, our experts say it's really important to avoid using them in the basement or in the garage. The garage is a really common site where people like to run portable generators, and even with the garage door up and the exhaust pointed outwards, some fumes can still settle in the garage. It's really not safe. So generators can be great. I mean, they can supply much needed lighting, and they can be life-saving if it's really an extended power outage, but you just want to make sure that you're using them right.
And no matter what part of the country you live in, year-round a natural disaster or severe storm can happen, so it's important to have one in your home just in case, any time of year. Now, consumer...
they can be helpful. Yeah, I'm sorry, go on.
No, go on, Jamie.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, yeah, they can be very helpful, just provided that you utilize it right.
And Consumer Reports has some advice about keeping food safe and staying on top of your medications. What do we need to know in regards to that?
Well, with both food and medication, in the event of a natural disaster, your two concerns are making sure that you have enough, and then making sure that it's stored properly. So with food, if the power goes out, one thing you can do for starters is go into the refrigerator and take any perishables out and stick them in the freezer, or anything that you're not going to be consuming soon. That can help keep them at a safe temperature and prevent your needing to throw them out. As far as your frozen stuff goes, our experts say that as long as the frozen goods don't go above about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, it is safe to refreeze them once the power comes back on. If the temperature in the freezer goes above 40, you're going to have to basically throw out everything that's in there. And as far as whatever's left in the refrigerator, the general rule of thumb is after about 4 hours of a power outage, you probably need to toss the perishables. When it comes to medication, the most important thing is just to make sure that you've got at least about a 2-week supply of any prescription drugs that you take on hand, also any over-the-counter stuff like ibuprofen, vitamins and supplements that you take on a daily basis. You just want to make sure that you've got a good supply of those, because we actually found, we surveyed thousands of readers who had been affected by Superstorm Sandy here in the Northeast back in 2012, and about a quarter of them said that in the aftermath of the storm they had problems with medications. Either the drugstore was closed, so they weren't able to refill a prescription, or they relied on mail order, and well, now the mail's not coming. So it's really important to have a supply of those on hand, and if you evacuate, definitely have them with you on your person, because you don't necessarily know when you're going to get back or what shape your stuff's going to be in when you get back.
Well, we know it's important to be prepared, but now with your tips, we'll be extra ready and we'll feel confident when an incoming storm is on its way. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Jamie.
Thanks for having me.
For more information, you can head to our website, mymassappeal.com, later on today.